Here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, mother. What do you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Johnathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Johnathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Breaking news from the National Football League.
We have another running back deal. Colts running back Johnathan Taylor signed a 2-year extension that Adam Schefter reported, up to $39 million guaranteed.
This has been the training camp of big-time running backs getting big-time new contracts. Bijan Robinson was first. Johnathan Taylor the next.
This is the head coach, Shane Steichen. This is Chris Ballard as a general manager saying that we're going for the gusto and we're going to reward these players and we're going to attach our names to it. Now they just have to go out there and get it done.
That's Johnathan Taylor's new deal right there. I'm going to get into that. You got Tommy McLelland queued up and ready to go. Lord have mercy. Please, oh please. Boilermaker fans are saying don't do it, but you know when you put something on a tee so ridiculously awful like that and embarrassing, then we're forced to play it. Tommy McLelland. He is the new athletic director at Purdue, and this was a part of his introductory press conference.
Every recruit and every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Oh, God. Seriously. How do you not know? I don't know this guy. He's from Rice. I'm assuming being from Rice. He's smart with numbers. The biggest reason why that he's the new athletic director in West Lafayette is because of fundraising. That's what it's all about now. Could you not give that line to anybody, and would anybody be honest and say, my God, don't say that? First of all, you don't even need to address it. It's bad enough that you have the little brother presence anyway, and that's even more magnified. But here's how you can honestly tell. That's not just fodder. That's not fresh meat for IU fans. That is embarrassing for Boilermaker fans. That is the absolute worst way you can start out. There are ways that you can be dropped in and win a press conference. And maybe you jack around and you're not any good after that. You can win press conferences. This guy is incredible. And I don't even know what to say. There's zero way that anybody heard that before he delivered that line. Why would you even go there? Was it Barry Odom last week when he referenced IU? He said, hey, look what they did. We all should want to be like that. We want to be like that. We should have motivation to do what they did. You say all the right things if you're the Boilermaker football coach. You say ridiculous things if you're the new AD that clearly needs prompting. What's this come down to? Is this like the board of directors? Because I always say this, when you put a board together or a group, it's always decision-making wise problematic because you got too many nerds on it. But that was one of the nerdiest, dorkiest, dumbest comments I have ever heard. And it is going to have a lasting memory. There's zero way that thing's ever going to disappear. The team you just referenced in football won the national title. unbeaten and winning the national championship. Is anything else? Seriously, you could have come out there and Caleb, you could have said, hey, my name is Tommy McLelland, and I look a lot like Opie Taylor from Andy Griffith, and sometimes I act like a dumbass, and that would have been better than saying that. Seriously, that was like the worst thing you could say. And it makes you wonder why you even go there in the first place. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana. You can just say, we're here to win championships. I'm here to work. I'm here to get started. I got to get going. Maybe we have not been financially where we should be, where we need to be more competitive in this landscape of college athletics that has changed so drastically over the past handful of years. And then you deliver that. And not only do you become the laughingstock, and I mean everybody, you got everybody now, everybody nationally is taking off with this. You have local politicians. I mean, the politicians obviously just jack around on social media all the time. I don't know what they do. They're either like a 15-year-old kid or like us, I guess, because we're always on social media. And our local politicians, no wonder nothing can get done. These clowns are always all over social media with the whole gotcha thing, and that's part of it too. This is the whole gotcha mentality, and that is a gotcha mentality that fails and fails miserably. And really, we have no position other than sit here and make fun of it. And Boilermaker fans are going to have to take their medicine on it, and it just kind of makes you wonder, all right out of the gate, who is this guy? Why did he say that? The board of directors got busy and hired this guy. Why? Was an assistant at Vanderbilt, a guy that ran things at Rice, and then you come out and you say that, and you embarrass absolutely everybody. And honestly, that is not overstating the case. He embarrassed those that he is going to be working for. He better raise an extra $5 million for that bad boy this year or something. That is not good. I'm John. Thank you for joining us. And that was the new Purdue athletic director with that bombshell. Tommy McLelland, everybody. The introductory press conference in West Lafayette earlier today, and that's how we get started. Now, I know that Caleb is over there. We were talking about Johnathan Taylor getting the 2 years and the money, $39 million guaranteed. I can tell you, we'll get back to the whole McLelland thing. I know Tom Dienhart's going to join us coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour to explain or to go even more in depth and how much of a stain, how much you're going to have to work to eliminate that. There's going to be a lot to overcome already. But Johnathan Taylor gets 2 years. I've said this about Johnathan Taylor. Johnathan Taylor's the best player on the team. Johnathan Taylor's the best player on the Colts team that has shown little to no results. And understandably, that's where we are right here. Little to no results. So, in one way, I completely understand why you feel compelled. He's your best player. You want your best player here. You want your best player happy. And he deserves to be paid. If there's anybody on that team that deserves payment or a raise, it's him. $47 million, extension-wise, 2 years, $39 million guaranteed. Now, I look at it 2 different ways here. And I was against doing really anything, whether it was Taylor or Nelson. And these are a couple of reasons. While I understand they're good players, and in all of this, they are far from the reasons why results have not been met. But they have been a part of that team, these teams, those situations. Thus, to me, in a year, and look at it this way. it either is going to be viewed as, hey, finally they're getting something done. Finally they're going to win. Finally they're backing up the talk over 10 years, or this is going to be a massive lame duck campaign. So I was against the extension of anybody. I was against putting the next folks, the next group in line to take over if this doesn't work out. I was against saddling anybody with something they did not want. Now, you can look at it that way, and that's how I viewed it. But you can also look at it as, well, somebody's got to play, and he's the best player on your team. All right, so he's a running back, and you question why a running back on your NFL team is the best player on the team. The running back certainly has been viewed differently over the last couple, 2-3 years than it was. I mean, hell, just like 3 years ago, everybody said, well, you can just go ahead and get anybody in there and run it. It's like the spare tire. You know, lean on it if you need it, but, you know, otherwise you're probably not going to ride it down the road too much. It's not going to be that significant for you. But certainly the thought process there has changed. Johnathan Taylor, he is worthy of an extension and worthy of payment. And you could tell all along, just the way that he has reacted, that something was going to get done because he was happy. Before this was announced, before this was breaking news, he seemed to be content. But again, you're still a part of a team that has shown no results. And I want, if this doesn't work out, and hopefully it does, I'm not going to go into the season hoping that this thing stinks, because I want you guys to get finally some return on investment. You've invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, and probably a lot of money in this product that has been middling, if not well below middling, and a complete lack of results. But you guys keep going. You go to games, you're buying the gear, you're going with tickets, and you're hanging out, and it's great, and that's your disposable income. That is your time spent. So I'm hoping that Daniel Jones is healthy and takes over just like he was last year before he was injured. And that combination with Shane Steichen is indeed true, is good, is solid, is strong, productive. I'm hoping a lot of the questions we're asking right now are not questions we're asking, but you're saying, hey, you know what? I knew it all along. You can play revisionist history. That's fine. I just think right now there's a lot more of a lean on, hey, what do you do if this doesn't work? Because if it doesn't work, there is zero way you can run this back again. You have to wipe the slate clean. And my thought process all along was just making sure, whomever this might be, you don't end up saddling them with unwanted players, unwanted money, unwanted contracts. So I get both sides of it. I do. And I will say this, with this particular deal, we'll ask Mike Chappell about this coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. But when I first saw this announced earlier this morning, my feeling was, I thought that was about as good as you're going to do it. It's almost like a compromise of sorts. It's like, hey, we're going to make our best player happy, but at the same time, we want to make sure we don't completely compromise what is the longer-term future. And that's how I felt when they ended up extending Daniel Jones. Now, he's a quarterback. It's necessary. They have belief in him, but the future is so incredibly muddy. So I get it. So I'm not altogether unhappy. A lot of people said, you must be unhappy because you didn't want to. I like Johnathan Taylor a great deal. And without question, he has been the most consistent and meaningful for this team. I am just skeptical about how this thing is going to go. And hopefully it goes great. And there are reasons behind this. But I've been in the category of thinking about this team, this organization right now, and the reason why these decisions have been made, the reason why they find themselves in this position is that there's no other way to do it. When you went all in with this group last year, then you forced yourself and your hand to remain all in because what do they call it now in sports terms? Optionality. I don't know where that nerdery came from, but I hear it all the time. The optionality, simply put, is not there. So you basically have to live with it. As I've said in the past, you have to soak in it. That's that. And that's where this team is now. So, no, I'm not incredibly disappointed about it. I'm not mad about it. I'm not angry about it. I do get both sides. But when this thing is able to start fresh, I want there to be a clean or as clean of a slate as possible. I do think this deal gives them that. So that part is good. So Scott Miller just gives me this. This is the lone defender of what Tommy McLelland just said. So let me remind you, being Homer, that who will always be little brother. 125 and 94, 77 and 44 in football. Please let me know when they reach 100 in basketball or that changes. This is the only person that thinks what this AD said out of the gate here, he's okay with it. You can't be okay with that. You can't be the only one. You can be, Scott, the biggest butt sniffer in the world, and that's okay. That doesn't make me any more of a homer. In fact, I'm not a homer whatsoever. I just kind of recognize what was at fault here. And when you come out of the gate and you say that and you embarrass everybody up there, that's your problem. That's not anybody else's problem. I don't know if you just are tone deaf or you don't watch sports or what. So, yeah, you could, I know Scott's all been out of shape and I'm a homer. No, I'm not a homer. I'm a realist. That was a dumbass thing to say. And most other Boilermaker fans agree. I hope that it works out. I hope that it works out. I want everybody around here, because I'm a homer. If I'm a homer on anything, I'm a homer for you guys. I want things to work out for you guys because most of you guys are way too pissy on an hourly basis for things to be going that great. So hopefully your sports teams play well. That plays a role in how you feel daily. And this football program has to get going. Barry Odom didn't have a problem with addressing it and addressing it in the right way. The newly charged AD did. And there's no sidestepping that. It's not the rest of the world being a homer, Scott. It's you and the new AD being completely tone deaf. I would think you would want to be more like that, right? Be more like that. Now, if you're talking about basketball, yeah, hey, the basketball program right now, you want to be the consistency of what Matt has been in West Lafayette. Yeah, you could say something like that. Really, you don't have to say anything. All you have to do is come out and say, I am here to work, and we're going to get to work, and we're going to make this thing the best as possible. It is a new landscape, and we've got to make things financially better around here, more robust, and we're going to go at it. We're going to go at it hard. It seems to be so easy. Why is it so difficult? Scott, that's all we're asking on a day like today. I don't think anybody's picking sides. Unfortunately, in the realm of really bad things, inaccurate things to say, that, Scott, is at the top of the list. I think even the Boilermaker homers understand that. And this had nothing to do with the pot being stirred. There's no reason to stir the pot. Because in these recent matchups, Purdue's lost like 150 to nothing. It hasn't been close. Again, the head coach of the football program says all the right things. Just roll with that. Take a cue from your football coach who's in it and trying to get this thing back, and your basketball coach who has been state of the art. in what is an ever-changing college athletics landscape. Take a cue from those guys. I would have gone straight to Painter and I said, hey, what do you think I should say right here? Matt Painter always says, I know I'm a homer again because I like Matt a great deal. Painter always says the right things. Always. What do you think, Matt? Like I mentioned, your football coach, Barry Odom, said all the right things. You just can't, you don't want to start out like that. It's one thing, to seemingly fire a shot across the bow of your biggest rival. Okay, fine. Well, A, it was unnecessary, and B, it was ridiculous where you're going to be nationwide clowned. That's exactly what you don't want. And that's what happened today. And there's no way around that. There is no defending that. It's almost like you didn't even know what you were saying. It's like you're a cheerleader and you're just going to cheerlead with this particular statement and just don't do it. Again, all you had to do is take a cue from your football coach, or I'm assuming ask your basketball coach. They would help you say the right things. It's bad news and bad news across the board right there. Fever later on tonight, the Fever and the Aces. We still are, our board in here is completely nude right here. What are we going to do? I am going to have to give you the gig on this right here. Yeah, you got the gig right here.
Okay.
You got it. It's going to be you from now on. Writing that up. Can you do it? Will you accept?
I'm down, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'll take some more responsibility.
More responsibility for Caleb right there. Yeah, nothing makes anybody that's going to be critical about that statement. Nobody around here is a homer regarding that. Believe me, I know this to be true. We're going to be critical about things that go wrong. However, do we want things to go right for people around here? Absolutely. Why wouldn't we? We're in it just like you guys are. There's zero way you can defend that. It is without any D whatsoever. You can't do it. How would you? How would I do it? You got any ideas for me right here, Caleb? How would I even begin to defend that?
I don't think you can. The one thing I keep going back to as I've listened to this audio all afternoon, just those 11 seconds.
Boilermaker fans just cringe, dude.
Yeah.
It's so cringeworthy.
And what I would say is when you have an opening press conference, I don't care if it's an athletic director, a general manager, a coach, whatever, there's ways. It's hard to win the press conference. I don't think there's any winning, but there's definitely losing the press conference, opening press conference. Like, that exists. And this was losing it. And like you said at the open, you're going to be swimming upstream because of this comment for months, years.
So Jackson writes this, JMV. I have friends that are Purdue fans telling me it was good PR. And nothing good about that, unless you think good PR is being clowned. Despite what anybody says, not all good hype and PR's good hype and PR. It's just not. And that's not. You don't want to be nationwide clowned. I mentioned this. You're not just getting nationwide clowned, but you got all these politicians that are taking their 4.5-hour lunch breaks right now, clowning on it too. And all this, you guys are all going to give me these Purdue fans like Scott's giving me stats. Nobody gives a crap about your stats right now. Nobody cares about your stats. That is a line, and that line is going to live forever. Hey, I wish the guy well, but you talk about stepping in it right out of the gate. There's no other way you can put it. He stepped in it right out of the gate. And I'm assuming Boilermaker fans would probably, within reason, rather me step away and not talk about it anymore than continue to talk about it. Makes sense. So I tell you what, with that, I'll take your cue, and we will. John Nolan's going to join us coming up on the other side. One of my favorite things about this season so far with the Indiana Fever is being able to be critical of how they're playing, yet also pat on the back when they say and do the right things. Just like Caitlin Clark. The whole just wanting to play basketball and not giving a crap about anybody else's agenda out there. I am here for it. I'm not the biggest WNBA honk out there, don't get me wrong. But I can get behind Caitlin Clark and those statements because that's why we're here. I'm here because of the basketball. I'm here talking to you about the basketball. That's what matters to me. And that's what she wants to do. And hopefully, and I'm sure it's not going to happen, but hopefully in the future, she's going to be allowed to just hoop and not have to placate to clowns' agendas because it doesn't matter to her. Thumbs up. John Nolan, the voice of the Fever on the other side. Tom Dienhart, Golden Black Illustrated, top of the 4 o'clock hour. Howard Jones, musician, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Mike Chappell about the 2-year extension for Johnathan Taylor, a guaranteed $39 million. Good deal for both sides. Did it feel good, even though the future is incredibly cloudy? I think I get it. I wasn't initially on board with it, but I think I get it. And there certainly was something behind the fact that Johnathan Taylor did not seem at all concerned about the situation. And after Bijan Robinson got his with the Falcons, and then there you go for Johnathan Taylor. There's no argument here. He is by far the best player, most productive player on that team. So that's great. We'll get into in-depth conversation with Mike Chappell coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. 4-pack. We got a family 4-pack, in fact. State Fair Pass is coming up, too. And on the other side, John Nolan's going to be with us. We're going to play more of Tommy. Tommy's first day was not a good one. Tommy had a bad first day. A bad first day. Tommy's going to have to be better. Why didn't Tommy just go to his football coach or his basketball coach or anybody and say, hey, about this line? Come on, Tommy. Quick one, don't go anywhere. We got a weather forecast courtesy of Fox 59. I think we need it. Here it is.
A few showers possible across central Indiana overnight. It'll be humid with overnight lows near 69 degrees. More scattered showers in the forecast for our Friday as temperatures rise to a high near 84. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Hey, John for Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. Powers the JMV takeover Saturday night on B105.7. And a weekend weather-wise, I'm assuming it's going to be much better than what we're seeing right here. Correct? Especially on Sunday. We got to have a come correct Sunday. And if you're having a party, then obviously Big Red Liquors is a stop that you want to make and want to make that at some point before the weekend, during the weekend, whatever. They have great deals across the board, starting with the best in beer, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, all those products there, Modelo, Corona. I'm telling you, imports, domestics, craft beers, they have it all for you at the best of prices. The Red Hot deals and more, plus the 100-plus locations in the state of Indiana. They have a Big Red Liquors and one near you. I promised 19 new, in fact, here in and around Indianapolis. That's Big Red Liquors, powering the JMV takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. And for that location and more, the Red Hot deals nearest you. That's BigRedLiquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Nolan on the other side here. So 317-239-1070. This is Scott Miller who is defending and calling me a homer, which you guys all know that is jackassery at the highest level. Scott knows better than that, too. I've been around here way too long. The whole homer thing, man, that's tired ass. And I'll wear you out if I have to hear it very often. I think you're aware of this. Wear you out. So, Scott, you're better than that. This comes into me, too. Did anyone say boo when Signetti said Google me? That was a dumbassery comment. Same blank, different day. Don't recall JMV ragging on Sig for that comment. No, we all thought that he was full of crap. We all thought, you got to be kidding me, because at that point in time, IU was a laughingstock. It was a doormat. And he turned that into what it is now. Unfortunately, the new athletic director in West Lafayette today turned his program into a laughingstock with that comment. That's exactly what you don't want. Now, if he's able to back it up, we'll prop him. If he can back it up, they can back it up. Listen, the football coach didn't have a problem. Matt Painter doesn't have a problem. This is strictly the new hires problem. There is zero way any rational Boilermaker fan can stand behind that comment and justify it. You just can't. So stop. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. He's the voice of the Fever. Fever and Aces later on tonight. That is John Nolan with us. Hello, John. How are you, pal?
JMV, I'm great. Thanks so much for the chance to visit.
All right, so the road trip was swell until some late game situations. And again, they fought hard in Minnesota. That's a tough get anyway on Sunday afternoon. But all in all, does it seem like that this team has turned the corner to start to become and reach the expectations that we thought were necessary at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, all in all, I mean, you're talking about winning 8 out of 10, and you mentioned the loss on Sunday at Minnesota. And I hear what you're saying when you say it came down to some like late game executing, but the issue was that in the middle part of the game, that's where they had some lapses and dug themselves a 15-point hole. And so I came away impressed that they had the resilience to rally and make it interesting, got within a couple points in the last couple minutes, but they had no margin for error there. So all of a sudden you miss a shot in a critical possession, and then it winds up being out of reach there in the closing moments. And, now the offense, which already, everyone kind of was aware of how good it was, now it's just gotten to another stratosphere that no one's ever seen before in the WNBA here, as they have the 6 consecutive triple-digit games. No one else had ever had more than 3 straight 100-point games in league history before. There probably still are questions out there about the defense, especially coming off that Minnesota game when they gave up 108, but at the same time, Minnesota's been the best team in the league. They were the more rested team, so I don't even really want to read too much into that. So, I'm kind of talking in some circles here. They recently had a 5-game winning streak. To be fair, 4 of those games were against teams with losing records. So I think there's still something to be proven here for this group. And honestly, tonight's going to be a good opportunity to prove it as they host the Las Vegas Aces, who come in with the 2nd best record in the league, team that they beat twice on the road last month. So I feel like the Aces are going to be as focused as they can be to avoid being swept in the season series tonight.
A lot of the categories, John Nolan, by the way, the voice of the Fevers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I'm curious, you look across the board and some of the shortfalls of this team. Fouling too much, turning the ball over defensively. Clearly, defensively is still a case that really remains to be seen and needs to be better. There's no question about that. But everywhere else, those 3 categories, do we see improvements there at all with this team, especially over the course of the last maybe 3+ weeks prior to the All-Star break?
Yep, definitely. I think you've been on top of it. The fouling has decreased. They had been leading the league in fouling at a record rate. No longer the situation. And I think actually the turnovers and the defense really almost go hand in hand, because, look back to one of the games on the road trip that stands out to me last week at Seattle. They got up about 20 points in the first half of that one. And for a while, they only had one turnover, which was pretty phenomenal into the later part of the first half. And then all of a sudden, there were like 3 possessions in a row that they turned it over, led to transition offense for that Seattle team. Next thing you know, the Storm are right back in that game, because it almost feels like, they're playing at in this, amazing pace. At times, it's perhaps too fast for their own good. I mean, on a lot of times, it's just too fast for the defense to be able to keep up with when you got Caitlin and Kelsey. And nowadays, I mean, even Aaliyah Boston can get a rebound and just zoom down the court herself and go coast to coast, just, top to bottom. This team full of tremendous athletes who have the ability to run for basically a full 40 minutes. But and I think someone had asked me about like looking ahead to the playoffs, and again, still got plenty of regular season to go, 14 games, but it will be fascinating to see, especially in a series type setting. I think the Fever can be better defensively. They've shown they've shown the flashes of that. I think it will be fascinating to see. And again, I think tonight is honestly just like last Sunday's game at Minnesota. It's kind of felt like a playoff game. I think tonight's game is going to be a bit of a playoff feel too.
Yeah, what is funny about defense is, we all like to talk about it, and nobody out there really wants to play it, and that's the true story. But sometimes you can get better defensively as a team when everybody around recognizes that the most talented player or the top player on the team gets better. And in this category, I think both Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, as good as they have been this season without question, can both improve in those categories. And then I think that would help the entirety of the team get even better defensively too.
Yeah, and I think they actually, both Caitlin and Kelsey, have in their careers of different lengths here. For Caitlin, a shorter pro career than Kelsey's, but they both have shown strong progress. And of late, especially Kelsey, she's often right now getting the assignment to guard the other team's top scorer, and that also makes the scoring stretch that Kelsey is on herself all the more incredible when you think about the energy that she's putting in at both ends. It's not a case of just standing off to the side on the defensive end. I mean, the other day, for example, a lot of times she was having almost a half-court pickup point, having to get Olivia Miles, the star rookie for that Lynx team. So, yeah, again, I at the end of the day, too, like Bree January as the defensive coordinator for this group, and the emphasis that Steph White puts on it, it's not for a lack of detail in the scouting report. And I trust that the team, when push comes to shove, that they will get the stops that they need to win these big games.
John Nolan, who is the voice of the Fever with us. What's the expectation matchup-wise coming up later on tonight? And again, you mentioned the Fever got over. Now, again, both teams were compromised the last times out, certainly, but the Fever looked really good. That's kind of the start of the good feel about this team right now. But this matchup later on tonight, a more motivated Aces team, what's your expectation out of the Fever finally being back home?
Yeah, you're exactly right. They started that 8-2 month of July with a win at Vegas, and it was that unusual road trip that started and ended with games out there in Nevada, and they won both of them. That first one, Caitlin was out for the Fever, but Asia Wilson was out for the Aces. Then the second time around, Asia was back, and I think Aaliyah Boston, frankly, outplayed her, although just as I would point out to everyone, probably don't worry too much about the Fever's loss at Minnesota, because the Lynx had a significant advantage in terms of less travel and more rest. That second time the Fever and Aces played, it was the Aces who had a back-to-back situation. So these things you hope kind of do all balance out in the end, but the Fever probably had the edge rest-wise in that last matchup. But yeah, one thing that's pretty incredible with Aaliyah Boston is that for as polite and respectful and just pleasant of a person as she is, I mean, she's got that dog in her too, so to speak. And so I think around the league, everyone notices that Asia Wilson, who seems to just about dominate everyone else, leading the league in scoring at 26 points a game, basically averaging a double-double. But Aaliyah Boston does not back down against Asia Wilson. And even if Asia still has wound up with some 20-point games against Aaliyah and the Fever, they're not coming as efficiently as they usually do. So, I mean, that's probably going to be the biggest factor in this game here tonight is, it's a little cliche, but you're not going to like stop Asia Wilson, but you just try to slow her down, make her inefficient, contain her a bit. And Aaliyah Boston, despite the fact that they share an alma mater in South Carolina, it's kind of funny because a lot of times after these games, like Las Vegas's last game, they won at Atlanta, the Dream. They've got Alicia Gray, who was teammates with Asia in college at South Carolina after the game. They're usually posing for pictures and stuff like that, but Aaliyah and Asia, they don't pose for pictures after the game, which I think, just ton of respect for both of them. And it's just cool to see how they really get after it.
John Nolan with us. So Tidrow gets us started later on tonight, correct?
Yeah, Mick Tidrow. It's 2-a-days for him right now because as the voice of the Ball State Cardinals, I know they've had a camp open up for the football team in Muncie, but yeah, Mick's got our pregame coverage tonight starting at 6:30.
Yes.
And then we've got the call starting Bria, Goss, and I at 7. Tonight's a prime video game, so for anyone who
so that's the dart board that I'm throwing my dart at tonight, where this is going to be located on TV, right? Prime.
So hey, spare everyone, the hassle of figuring that out and tune in radio-wise, or best of both worlds. Get the ratings up. But
let me tell you this, John, you may be too young for this. Were you around when TV Guide was here?
Yes, and you know what? Actually, I am of an age as a little kid. I remember getting so excited when TV Guide would print the NFL schedules around this time of year, and I would hang on to the copy of the TV Guide that came out in August or Labor Day, whenever it was, and that was literally how I would track what the NFL schedule was.
Let me tell you, it's gone now, and it's been gone for a number of years. But I think it is more necessary right now. You could have an online version of TV Guide because there is so much crap, and frankly, nobody out there knows where to go immediately. And the TV Guide would allow you to know where to go, whether it's a document in your hands or something on your smartphone or your smart device. I think we need TV Guide again. Maybe an expanded role for TV Guide. Would you agree?
Yeah, this might be a conversation to take offline because I don't want to, put too good of an idea out there for somebody else to be able to capitalize off of. But in the meantime, speaking specifically of Fever and figuring out where to watch or listen, and thankfully it's easy in the listen column because it's just tuning in right here as anyone is right now.
Yes.
But feverbasketball.com does spell out where every game is to watch. And yeah, admittedly, I utilize that feature because oftentimes game to game it is changing, which at the end of the day is a good problem to have for the league because it's a combination of expanded coverage of local broadcasts and then definitely nationally for the Fever with the popularity and the fact that there are more networks out there that want to be given the Fever and the WNBA exposure. So I'm with you. It is annoying to some degree, but ultimately, it is a good positive thing for the Fever and the league.
All right, so are you on a stakeout right now? I just noticed you're sitting in your car. You look like you're on a stakeout or something. Are you like 21 Jump Street? What are you doing?
I'm on a stakeout for a cup of coffee to get some caffeine here ahead of tonight's game.
All right, then. Well, go to it right here. You got your US Team USA jersey you're rocking too?
I threw on a Tamika Catchings USA basketball jersey because in case anyone missed it, it was announced earlier today that next month, this is a weird thing, but FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup every 4 years takes place during the WNBA season. I think actually going forward, they won't interrupt the season anymore. But, there's going to be a break in the Fever schedule the first 2 or so weeks of September. But, congratulations to Caitlin and Aaliyah. It'll be their first time on the senior national team. And for that matter, Steph White's going to be an assistant coach for the squad. So,
yes.
Everyone who loved the World Cup men's soccer-wise, you get a chance to break out the red, white, and blue again in a few weeks.
The coach of the month, Stephanie White. How about that? I've been fighting that battle all year long, so that really makes me feel good right there.
No, amen. Stephen, I think it's a good reflection of the entire coaching staff that the Fever have. They deserve some kind of special award and recognition.
Well, I'm more about the reflection it is on me. I feel good about it myself.
Yeah, I think it's a reflection of you too, for all the nonsense that they have to deal with at times.
Nonsense, indeed.
Beyond that, though, yeah, I mean, coaching this team to putting up unprecedented numbers and winning games at the end of the day, and really, really happy for them to get some love like that.
You got it. John Nolan's the voice of the Fever. Later on tonight, Tidrow's going to lead you at 6:30. They're going to tip that thing at 7. The Aces and the Fever, and John right here on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. I appreciate you, brother. Get that coffee.
Thank you, JMV. Yep, talk soon.
You got it, buddy. John Nolan, voice of the Fever. He looked like he was on a stakeout. You ever see that movie Stakeout from 1987? Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez.
I'm going to add it to the list.
Holy crap, that's a good movie right there. That's a good one. Stakeout. It's a sneaky good one. You don't normally think about it, but it is sneaky good. A cop duo drama. Well done. A little comedy in there, too. Quick one, we'll come back. You guys want me to call Tommy McLelland Opie. I don't want to get into name calling, all right? But it was a significantly bad first step, especially when you have resources around you that can help. I don't know who helped him cobble together that with that particular line, but never, ever, ever go back to them again if you did have help. Quick one, we'll come back. We got Tom Dienhart, Golden Black, top of the hour. Howard Jones, musician, friend of mine, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Mike Chappell on Johnathan Taylor's extension, 2 years, $39 million guaranteed for the Colts running back. You down with that? Quick one, we'll come back with you next. John Ford, Premier Weight Loss. Lose that weight right now. Get started. If you've been hesitant and you go, I hear this guy yapping about it all the time. How fat was he? Well, evidently I was incredibly fat. I had no idea. I just remember at the time when Thomas said, hey, I want you to come and join Premier Weight Loss. I said, yeah, I will, but I really don't think I need to lose any weight. Seriously, that was in a bubble like a comic book above my head. Clearly, I needed to lose, well, lack of a better description, a crap load of weight. 80 pounds later, I have never felt better in my existence, in my life, thanks to Premier Weight Loss. GLP-1 injections, you can get that at Premier Weight Loss, and they're going to help you along the way. You do the work, you change up your diet, follow a protocol, you work out regularly, you're going to go ahead and transform yourself into the person maybe you used to be or you want to be. You're going to be healthier, and give them a call. Do not wait. 317-643-4444 on the north side, and in Fishers at Premier Weight Loss, 317-567-9100. I'm with you on this, too. If you need my help, do not hesitate to call or ask me. I will give you the advice that I take. Some of my measures may not work for you, but others may. But I can tell you this, they keep you goal-oriented at Premier Weight Loss. Count on them. If you want to get back in shape, if you want to look better, if you want to be more healthy, that's Premier Weight Loss helping you get started today. That's PWLND.com. All right, Connecticut Water Systems. If you don't have Connecticut, water's not the best. You're probably saying, well, wait a minute, how do you know the water's the best? Well, if Connecticut can transform my water, they had better water in Walnut Grove with the Ingalls family coming out of Plum Creek back in the day. Seriously, my water, Morgan County on a well, can you imagine without what Connecticut does, the water I'd be dealing with? Now it is incredibly drinkable, elite level drinkable water, bathable, washable, and if they can do that for my well water in Morgan County. Imagine what they can do for you. Get Joe and the gang started today with a free in-home test. They're going to show you exactly what they can do, and they are going to carve together a specific system for your needs. Not something they're just going to roll off the shelf, but something specific, exclusive for your home water needs. Connecticut.com. Ask for Joe. Get them in for that free test today and get the best water going for your home tomorrow. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
The new Purdue AD comments. Tom Dienhart's going to join us to talk about that coming up at the top of the hour. Howard Jones, one of my all-time favorites and a spectacular dude, is playing at Everwise coming up tomorrow night. It's Howard Jones, Wang Chung, English Beat, and Modern English. I'm going. You guys are all going. Hell, we're all going, and Howard's going to join us coming up later on in the 4. And a 2-year deal. An extension, $39 million in guaranteed cash for a guy that deserves it. But was that the right move longer term for the Colts? Mike Chappell talks that up coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. That's Caleb. I'm John. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this. Hey, John for WeGrowHairIndy.com. You looked in the mirror and you go, hey, All this skin. Where's the hair? What happened here? You dig your hair. You want it back. You don't want to lose it at all. Hey, you've got options to do something about it. It's Darren Andrews and WeGrowHairIndy.com. 317-522-2995. 9 years right here. I could not be more happy with what that has done. I love my real growing hair, and it continues with the evolution now of just the procedures, but also boosters to continue the real growing hair that you have right now. It's fascinating. And believe me, real hair lovers, it works. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com. Darren Andrews, tell him I sent you today. 317-522-2995 or WeGrowHairIndy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
It's quite pungent. It stings the nostrils.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Johnathan Taylor got an extension earlier today. Colts fans down with that? I'm assuming most of you are. 3,026 rushing yards, 32 TDs on just over, or I should say under 6.5 or 600 carries in the last 2 seasons. So at 47 mil is what the extension is worth. 2 years, $39 million guaranteed. Most Colts fans seem to be happy. I presented my argument as to why I would not dedicate anything past this year, because you're about ready to, if things go haywire, I'm assuming, wipe the slate clean. But I will say, in terms of putting money on, he doesn't turn 30. So you're not compromising anything. In the world of a third extension, I think this is pretty good, or as good as you can ask for to keep everybody happy, I guess including me. So I do get that. I get that aspect of it. He's the best player on the team. Does he deserve to be paid in that fashion? Absolutely. However, you're the best player on the team with a team that has shown over this time little to no results. And given the circumstances, I think everybody out there could understand why you want to approach this cautiously in terms of further down the road. But I think that's something we can live with. But I said that about Johnathan Taylor. I said that about Quentin Nelson. And nothing against these guys. But the results haven't been there. And you just don't know how much longer everybody around here will, well, for lack of a better description, be around here. Howard Jones, friend of the show, is going to join us coming up a little bit later on in the hour. Mike Chappell, more on Johnathan Taylor and that extension coming up after 5. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, it's been somewhat of a compelling day, I'm assuming, in West Lafayette. From Gold and Black Illustrated, it is our good friend Tommy D, Tom Dienhart, joining us. So what of the introduction of new athletic director Tommy McLelland today?
Yeah, I guess he's gone viral for probably all the wrong reasons, right? In the moment, I was sitting there in the front row, John, and when he uttered that, you sort of kind of did a double take and you kind of wondered if you really heard what you thought you heard. Not sure if he was really trying to kind of do a Signetti and poke the bear, poke your rival or not, or if he just wasn't aware, I guess, IU's national championship pedigree. Either way, kind of a dubious way to get started.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to live down, is it not, when you get started in this fashion, Tommy?
Think about this. I mean, Curt Signetti doesn't need any more fuel for his fire, right? What's been the combined score of the last 2 bucket games? I think Purdue scored, 3 points?
Yeah.
This year the game's in Bloomington. So, again, needless to say, he doesn't need any more motivation to really get fired up, and now he can throw this log on the fire. So I know the bucket game's a long way away, and what the heck, you gotta like the moxie, and I guess the motivation of the new AD Tom McLelland here to come out and say something like that in his opening press conference.
Yeah, there probably would have been better ways to go about it. Like, I'll give you a great example. I thought Barry Odom at Big Ten Media Days, I thought he handled it great, saying, hey, this is who we want to be. This is where we want to reach. We want to do these things too. And I'm assuming Matt Painter probably would have had better advice and dialogue as well. It didn't seem like that maybe Tommy practiced that speech on anybody in particular before he gave it.
Yeah, he should have maybe ran it by somebody. And you know what? I get it, John. I'm sure everybody at Purdue's tired of being asked about Indiana, tired about, why can't we be in Indiana? Can you ever have success like Indiana? On and on it goes, right? But like you said, there's certain ways to handle that. And tip your hat. You got to tip your hat to what they've done in football. It's just been incredible. One of the greatest stories in sports history, not just college football history, but sports history, what they've been able to do in just 2 short years. And that run last year, John, to go 16-0 in multiple playoff games against that run of teams was one of the probably better runs in the history of the sport as well. So again, you just tip your hat and then move on. And like you said, that's a place we'd like to be one day, and then just change the subject. And if you're not asked about Indiana, certainly don't bring them up, right? Just you're always better off in life just taking care of yourself and not worrying about everybody, at least at this stage, if you're Purdue especially.
Yeah, and what's funny, when Signetti did that, if you're going to make a comparison to, I win, Google me, whatever. He had one, Google him, and just at a much lower level. At the time, people thought, all right, what do you have to lose? In this case, what you're doing is kind of nationwide clowning yourself. And the program doesn't want to be clowned. The football program, in this case, does not want to be clowned any more than it has been on the field. That's what you're trying to make up for. You're trying to create a better environment for it. And yeah, there are ways to start, and you can start like Cignetti, and obviously he backed it up. Nobody thought he was going to at the time when he said that. I remember him keep being Tommy on this show, and everybody was going, what are you doing? What are you saying? But he had really nothing to lose because nothing had ever really been done with that program. Unfortunately, today it went bass-ackwards in West Lafayette because you just ended up being a nationwide sideshow, which is exactly what you don't want.
Yeah, from corner to corner, from coast to coast, when you look at social media, you scroll through your Twitter, you'll see everybody chiming in on it. And like I said, all the wrong reasons to go viral. And, it's too bad, John. Otherwise, I thought Tom McLelland did a very good job today, right? I thought he handled himself with aplomb, had a good message to deliver.
Yeah.
Fielded most every question well, but unfortunately, you know how things go. It's that one area that everybody's going to focus on, just like in our life, right? We can have the greatest life, and we make that one mistake in life, and that seems to define about us. So again, this is sort of in one way, sort of a microcosm of that. It's unfortunate for Tommy, like I said. He seems like a good fit, a good guy for Purdue, but just a missed up that I'm sure he's going to regret hindsight. And you kind of hope maybe over time this sort of dissipates. But right now it's been blasted, like I said, from coast to coast, especially on social media.
Yeah, and it was scripted material too, which it was I think it's one thing where you just go, you say that and you go, oh man, that was in the moment off the top of my head. But that being on the script wasn't great.
Yeah, it was scripted, and like I said, it'd be kind of nice at some point to talk to him. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of want to hear from him.
Yeah.
This has become the story, unfortunately, right? In a lot of ways, at least a very big part of the story of today. And it's almost, you kind of wonder what the thinking was, what his intent was in that statement. So here we are talking about it, like I said, and it's just sort of a misstep right out of the gate for the new Purdue athletic director.
That's Tom Dienhart of Golden Black Illustrated. So what do you expect out of him outside of putting his foot in his mouth in this introductory press conference today?
Finding new streams for revenue. That's kind of the buzz phrase now, right? We met with Mike Babinski last Monday, and we asked him what the next marching order would be for his successor, and finding new revenue streams. That's the big one. We've seen uniform patches become one of those sources of revenue, and you have to be creative. I think he's going to look for ways to use Ross-Ade Stadium and Mackey Arena outside of just Purdue exclusive sporting events. Whatever it is, he's done a good job raising money and finding revenue streams at places that don't have a lot of athletic built-in advantages, like Rice and like Vanderbilt in particular. So he's used to challenges, and he's used to raising money. He's been very good at raising money, and that seems to be a big part of anybody's job in athletic administration today, John, is raising money for the continuing rising cost of just putting these rosters together from year to year, because the price is not going down.
How do you do that? Like, what do you think the protocol is going to be at Purdue to do that? And have they been late to the game of really truly getting on board, or is this kind of the situation with the hand they were dealt when NIL became so prevalent as it is now?
It's kind of hard to tell what numbers are real and really who's doing what. Everybody here kind of gets the sense Purdue was maybe a little bit behind the eight ball, if I'm being honest, if you ask most people. I think the basketball team's been well taken care of. A lot of times we're told, well, the Purdue alums don't have a real appetite for NIL, but everybody has an appetite for winning, right? And there's, like I said, they sure support that basketball team with NIL. You never hear about player defections, and a lot of that's Matt Painter's just mojo and chemistry. He's really built quite the corny family atmosphere, but it's legit. But again, like I said, my point being, they've been able to retain their basketball players. Purdue hasn't retained one football player the last 3 or 4 years that another school wanted. Will Helt, Dylan Thieneman, Max Clare, Nick Scorton, on and on it's gone. Pretty much every Purdue football player that some other bigger school wanted, they got, and Purdue couldn't keep them. That tide has got to turn, And at some point, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You're going to have to pony up and trust in your coach, increase the funds, because, again, you hear some of the offseason talk, $40 million rosters are being built right now, John. Purdue can meet the rev share max, right, $22 million, but it's that next level, the NIL money, that really separates these programs, it seems like.
Tom Dienhart of Gold and Black Illustrated, before I let you go, what's your expectation for Barry Odom? And you're number 2 up there. And I guess your expectation and the fan base expectation, because you would expect, I would guess, a lot of growth in year number 2. Is that what we're going to see?
Yeah, I think it's a little more stable this year. The roster, there wasn't as much turnover. I think the coaching staff's been tweaked in a positive direction. I am told ticket sales are down. I'm not sure how down they are, but they are down. It's going to be very interesting to see, John, when your Indiana State Sycamore's rolling here on September 4th, that Friday night, what the crowd looks like.
Yeah.
And then next week for a game at high noon against Wake Forest. 2 huge games. And as far as the expectations, Las Vegas has set the over-under win total at 3.5. You're going to take the over or the under. And I think right now I'm still inclined to take the under. I'm looking at 3 and 9. And if they lose that Wake Forest game, boy, the hill got that much steeper. So 3 and 9, 4 and 8, I think would be progress. And you know what, too, would be progress, John? Don't get totally wiped out by Notre Dame and Indiana.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, just a lot of character builders going on right there. And you know what, Tommy, in closing here, it's easier said than done considering what's transpired with your biggest rival in the past 2 years. And that also gets stacked on top of you. And, that's a part of this whole deal.
Yeah, and they got Notre Dame to the north and Indiana to the south now, 2 of the top 5 programs in the nation. And Purdue's just trying to be that little train that could and get its head above water and just get the respectability. They'd pray to go 6-6 at this point. So the challenge is mighty for Barry Odom and company, and we'll see what he can do. And he's going to need all the support and all the resources that his new boss, Tommy McLelland, can give him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he should have said Indiana State instead of Indiana. You think that was on the script?
I know. It's incredible, man, how again, it's just unfortunate. That's going to be the defining moment from this press conference. And Tommy's got to own it, man.
He does. I'd be curious to see how, when he gets asked the questions, how he responds to that, Tommy.
Yeah, that would say a lot. And sometimes you're better off maybe just admitting you made. You're always better off, I think, admitting you made a mistake instead of doubling down on things. Sometimes.
Oh, we all come up with jokes or cracks that don't go over very well. We have to double back and say, hey, that was my attempt at being funny.
Yeah, instead of trying to justify it or talk your way around it, I think you're better off sometimes just owning it and saying, look, I probably shouldn't have said what I said. It was a misstatement. And we respect Indiana, and we look forward to competing with them in the future. Just keep it generic, and but then again, you don't want to continue to breathe life into something, right? The more you keep bringing it, you breathe life into it, and it continues to live. And you know what the news cycle is like. Things move off our radar quick, John. They move off our radar quick. I'm not saying this will. It's always going to be in the back mind of Indiana fans or Purdue fans, but it moves off the national radars quick. And we went from Diana Rossini being the hottest thing in America to whatever's next. And it's, again, our attention spans can be very fleeting in the social media age, especially.
Wow, what a crap water world you just described right there we live. That's a part of it. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks for justifying the crap water we're in right here. Thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
All right, my friend. We'll be talking.
That is Tom Dienhart of Gold and Black Illustrated on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Evidently, John Nolan and I, actually it was me, I'll give John a little bit of credit because he played off of it. I get a lot of people telling me that there needs to be, and they would be down with, a rebirth of an expanded TV guide. Yeah. And I mean for everything, too. We have no idea what the hell's on out there. I know that all you have to do on your TV guide, on your TV, is just like scroll down. But what if you had something that showed absolutely everything in the fashion in which we want it immediately? We don't have time to jack around and wait. We have zero patience or no tolerance whatsoever. I'm not just talking about sports here. Everything. Why has the TV guide not reemerged? Doesn't necessarily have to, it doesn't have to be a hard copy. I love the hard copy stuff. Yeah, right there on your phone, just boom, there it is. This is what's on every channel in existence. Every streaming device in existence. All this crap where we just don't know. And this goes well beyond tonight, right? So the Fever and the Aces are on Amazon Prime. Every single week, we're throwing darts at a dartboard. Hey, where the Fever play? Here or there? Ion, Channel 13, where are they? How? And this is always me. How can I find Debbie Antonelli? Because I'm the biggest Debbie Antonelli fan out there. How can I find Debbie Antonelli? TV guide. TV guide for the sports. TV guide for what's on the satellite, what's on the cable, what's on the streaming devices. Why not? Then maybe an article or two in there. Why not? I think that's a hell of a plan right there. Now, the thing would probably be like War and Peace if you end up having it right. I don't think they even have. Are there even any magazines? There are no more magazines right at the grocery store. None.
I think
it's all candy.
I don't know.
It's all candy and gum.
I might push back on this,
and
John.
protein bars. I don't believe there is.
I think there is.
I do not believe. Whether we're talking about a Kroger, who does not advertise, and that pisses me off. Kroger, Meijer, they don't either. That should piss me off. Any of our grocery stores, the Walmarts, the Costco's, the Dollar General stores.
I was going to say.
None.
I will say this. I think in the past couple years, past 10 years, sales of like gum, candy, and like those magazines you see in the grocery store line have gone down because why? Because what are people doing when they're standing in line at the grocery store? Looking at the phone. So you used to look at like, oh, there's the Bubblicious bubble gum and the Juicy Fruit and the Big Red and the Spearmint. You don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So sales for like gum and stuff are going down because or not going down, but they're not what they used to be.
I don't think there are magazines there anymore.
I would like somebody to chime in and side with me on this because I think I still see them.
Well, Nick says right here, we have a blank load of magazines at our Kroger over here out west.
Come on.
Maybe so. So they still have like the Sun and the Inquirer and all that stuff?
The demise of magazines was
and here's part of the issue. I can't remember the last time I went through a line with a human being. I'm checking this stuff out of myself, right?
Right. I went to a Kroger the other day, John. They had this robot patrolling the aisles.
Yes.
Have you
that's
seen
called,
those?
What's it called?
I forget his name.
It's not called Tappy or Tippy.
Tally?
Tally.
Tally.
It is Tally. Tally tallies up the inventory.
It's I walked it. I watched you go right
has
past
Tally
me.
ever bumped into you? I go,
It
hey,
almost
Tally.
did.
Stop sidling on me, Tally. I'm just looking for the protein bars right here. Tally's up my rear end trying to find out exactly what type of inventory they have in this aisle. Take it easy, Tally. What's worse, Tally or the person that's riding the floor cleaning machine? or the shopping for those that are picking up the groceries.
Oh, like an online order and
the online. Those people.
This is a tough call.
are they're rambunctious right there. They will run over your ass if you're not paying attention. And those big carts are heavyweights, man.
Yeah? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
they got families of 5-6 people.
Like a tractor trailer rolling down the aisle right there.
Yeah.
Have no regard for your existence in that. Hey, get out of the way. I'm shopping for somebody over here in Center Grove. I'm shopping for somebody in Aberdeen. Get out of my way.
I'm going to say Tally's still the worst. That's what
they got to have their Oliver Winery right. I'm Aberdeen. I got to shop for them. Let's get there. Beautiful. So I don't even know if like CVS or Walgreens, I'm assuming they still have magazine racks, right?
Yes.
You know, the one thing that I do love, and Phil Steele's going to join me coming up tomorrow, college football preview, and he is the guy. So Phil's going to join us on the show coming up tomorrow. But I was thinking about this. The college football previews are still the only magazines I think I would find myself buying. I just like having the hard copy. And I know that's toilet time, right? But I miss the toilet time editions of magazines because I had the college football, the college basketball, the NBA, the NFL previews, the Playboys. Entertainment Weekly was a big deal. Back in the Entertainment Weekly was right there next to the toilet. No more, though.
Now you're on your phone scrolling
now
TikTok,
you're on your
right?
phone, man.
Oh, wait, no, you don't do TikTok. That's right.
You know, sometimes I do.
You do?
Well, I did it last
Look
week.
at this.
Well, Jason Hammer of 93 WIBC, they're right across the hall now doing Hammer and Nigel. He makes some stuff for the JMV Takeover. And he made one with me and the former Barker's Beauties from The Price is Right. And I put that on TikTok and put it through the whole AI thing. And it's got me dancing with Diane Parkinson and all them. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got me kind of dancing with him. But Hammer puts that together. He's got one, too, me and Kevin Bacon and Footloose that I'm going to unleash on everybody this weekend.
Okay,
Hammer's really good at that stuff. I'm not good at that whatsoever. Anyway, Tom Dienhart. Hey, listen, Boilermaker fans, the good news for this, it will go away. The bad news is it will reemerge and probably will not significantly ever go away. But it is going to be a very tough start when especially all you had to say is, hey, I'm here to get to work. I'm here to make the programs better. And especially football. We've got a lot of ground to make up, a lot of ground to cover. I am here to do just that. One of these days it will go away. Unfortunately, today is not one of those. Tally. I like Tally. Tally reminds me, do you ever watch Saved by the Bell? Screech had a robot back on Saved by the Bell that like walked around too.
Well,
Tally reminds me of Screech's robot. Tally. They all have tallies. I wonder how many tallies they have per Kroger. I'll have to find out.
I have to tally them up.
They just cut them loose. It's Caleb, I'm John. Howard Jones going to join us. Tomorrow night, Everwise Amphitheater. You have Wang Chung, you have Modern English, you have the English Beat, and you have Howard Jones. It's going to be a great time. We're all going to be there together. And Howard's going to join us. I think he phones in coming up here about 15 till the top of the hour. Mike Chappell, the 2-year extension, basically $39 million in guaranteed cash for the Colts' best player who deserves that. But are you down with it, or do you think, hey, no longer-term decisions being made after this year because of the situation this team is in? Screech's robot was named Kevin. You not watch Saved by the Bell?
No.
Well, see, are you too young for Saved by the Bell?
I think so.
That's incredible right there. Too young for Saved by the Bell. That's like 2 generations for me right there. All right, quick one. We'll come back. Again, Mike Chappell, Howard Jones, Phil Steele's going to join us coming up on tomorrow's show. I think Pat Sullivan's back in studio as well. And I believe the State Fair starts tomorrow, speaking of which a family 4-pack of tickets will give away before the end of this show. Don't go anywhere. We've got a weather update courtesy of Fox 59 right now, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Well, across central Indiana overnight, it'll be humid with overnight lows near 69 degrees. More scattered showers in the forecast for our Friday as temperatures rise to a high near 84. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
John for the District Tap. 2 locations. Hey, stake out that place. Seriously, downtown. A little pregame going on there. Damn good food. Happy hour specials. Go over and watch a game. Come back out after a Fever win. And then post up there for the post-game activities. You got TVs everywhere, the damn good food, the happy hour specials. You got music, entertainment. That's the downtown location. What about Clearwater Crossing on the north side? They have you covered with all that and then some. And Sammy, the bartender and server, telling you, destination locations, north side, Clearwater Crossing, the District Tap, downtown Indy, the District Tap. And to find out more online, thedistricttap.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Thank you for your support.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark. Asia Wilson battle later on tonight. The Aces and the Fever. 3 of the major components announced earlier today. This is something that John Nolan referenced in hour number 1. Team USA announcing the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup roster. Those 3 that you will witness later on tonight at the Fieldhouse, they will be a part of it too. Pretty stacked team. Kelsey Plum, since traded to the Mercury, did I notice that she's like scoring in buckets right now? And speaking of not scoring in buckets, I think, Caleb, after last night at Greenwood Christian, it is time for the older gentleman through the glass sitting here in this seat to take a bit of a rest. I think I've got to rest.
Words that have never...
Maybe I know it.
You've never uttered those words
I never,
about anything ever.
But I think...
this is history. We should play the breaking news sounder
7 times in the last 8 days. I think I'm kind of worn to the nub a little bit here. I do.
I called you last night, and I could just hear it in your voice,
I was cussing. I was cussing. And Greenwood Christian, too. I shouldn't cuss in there.
Yeah.
I was cussing. I think I'm worn to the nub. All right, so Howard Jones is going to join us coming up in the next 5 minutes. So what we're going to try to do is probably break in a second and then make sure we're good for Howard for the longer haul up until the top of the hour. So Johnathan Taylor gets the extension, $39 million. You guys have responded to that at 317-239-1070. I do appreciate that. And the Tommy McLelland approach to the presser. You guys are responding to that. I'm sure I'm in the minority for this one, but I absolutely love McLelland's approach. Massive bravado to go after the head of the snake in college football, who happens to be your biggest rival. Bend the knee to no one. College athletics is now go big or go home. He went about as big as you can go, boiler up. You know, it was scripted, and he said it like that. It sounded bad, and then in just reading that, it's even worse. I get what you're trying to say, but it didn't come off like that. It wasn't a position of power or strength. It was something that was clowned and has been clowned continuously. So the ultimate impact is what you do with your program, is what football becomes. And what your programs do, and how your approach to NIL and fundraising. That's the ultimate. That's what matters the most here. Don't get me wrong. But you don't want what you say in your introductory press conference to be a clown show. And there's no other way to look at it. Quick break, we'll come back. Good friend of the show, Howard Jones, in town coming up tomorrow at Everwise. That and Mike Chappell, just about 20 minutes away with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John, for the Low T Center. Low T Center, obviously, for a lot of needs. Maybe you're somebody right now that you're dealing with what? You're dealing with a situation to where you just don't feel yourself, and frankly, you haven't felt yourself in a long time. The Low T Center can help. It's not just the summer heat. It could be low testosterone, low levels, energy, sex drive, motivation, mood, and more impacted by this. Low T drains your energy and motivation. So if you don't have it, things that you love might be difficult to recognize, including yourself in the mirror. So get the answers that are necessary. And be ready for the remainder of the summer from the Low T Center, and do it absolutely free, too. Low T Center can book a free testosterone test to get a consultation from a licensed provider who specializes in testosterone replacement therapy. So A range of peptides, maybe even get the jump on the late summer bod, GLP-1s, medical weight loss protocols, all that at the Low T Center. They've been doing this since 2009 for a reason. They're the absolute best. FixMyLowT.com to schedule your free testosterone test today. That's FixMyLowT.com. All right, it's Andy Moore, Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers. I told you this all summer long, and it first started with the summer getaways and the vacations and the road trips, and now we are back to school. And back to school is important. And if you're looking for a new set of wheels because you're hauling the kids back to school, you're hauling the kids' friends back to school, it's all understandable. My friend Eric Wilson can help you out right now, too. The hottest automaker going is that of Buick. The Enclave is the hottest SUV on the market. They have various styles, which means something that's going to fit you, your family, and your bank account. The inventory, the incentives to buy, you can save money there, and the service after the sale is absolutely unmatched. I just want to make this process easy. It is all too familiar to be a pain. Do not let it be a pain. Get to my friend Eric Wilson, Andy Moore, Buick GMC today. 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
The Ride with JMV.
These are my new shoes from Converse. They're so light and so fast, my grandmama can whoop you in them.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Mike Chappell, top of the hour. Colts get Johnathan Taylor, 2-year extension, $39 million guaranteed cash. We'll talk about that with Mike. Your thoughts on it, too. Hey, tomorrow night's going to be a big night for us all because if you're like me and a member of Generation X, One of the all-time greatest artists will be on the stage along with the English beat, Wang Chung in Modern English, the headliner. He's been on this show before, and he's one of the nicest humans you will ever meet. It is Howard Jones. Tomorrow night, Everwise Amphitheater. We'll see you all there, and Howard's kind enough to join us now here on The Ride with me, JMV. Howard, thank you for the time. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you, JMV. It's very, very kind of you to give such a great introduction.
You are, seriously,
very honored.
Every time you come to town, whether it's here or down in Brown County in Nashville, as I've seen you before, you are one of the nicest humans of all time. And I am so appreciative. Well, if you remember, my daughter Lainey is a tremendous fan, and going all the way back to her second grade year, she said you were her favorite artist, and you were kind enough to ask about her last time. And those are things that stick with people, Howard.
Yeah, isn't that is so great that she's been a fan since that long. I mean, is she able to come to the show? I mean, I'll have to put her on the guest list.
Yeah, I think she may be coming now. Yes. So if she's on the guest list, she may be coming now. Now, obviously, I'm coming. I've seen you a variety of times, and really this goes back to the 1980s. And I'm curious, multi-decades of touring, and you tour a lot. Does it ever get old for you?
No, it doesn't. I swear to you, it doesn't. Because it's like the best job in the world. Playing songs to people that they know, and they're singing them back to you, and creating this atmosphere in whatever venue I'm playing in. Honestly, it's such a joy to do it, and it is what I do. I mean, I couldn't really do much else. So this is. I'm just going to do what I can do, and love it. Yeah.
It's Howard Jones coming up tomorrow night at Everwise. You know, what's amazing is we have a mutual friend named Steve here in Indy, and you've been out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway before. This is literally one of your favorite stops, is it not, on your tour schedule here in Indianapolis?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been to the Indy 500 track a couple of times now, and the rest of the band are very excited because they're new to my band, and they're going to go down with Steve Shunk and go to the museum and get driven around the track. It's the most amazing thing, and I'm a big sort of motorsport fan. I follow Formula One, and anything with racing cars, I'm big time into. So. It's such a thrill. It's such an amazing track, and driving around it is like something special. It's huge.
Howard Jones is with us. What did you think? Were you kind of shocked at just how big the place was the first time that you stepped foot over there, Howard?
Yeah, absolutely. We were driven around in this beautiful old vintage car, and that they have in their motor museum, and it was just a thrill. And then we were driven around in a Ford Mustang by one of the IndyCar drivers, and it's there in the memory. I'll never forget it. It's twice we've been now. Yeah, it's great.
It is a great time for real. Tomorrow night's going to be a great time too. Howard Jones is with us. How has the tour been so far, Howard?
It's been absolutely amazing. All the gigs have gone really well. We've had great turnouts, and it's interesting because it's very much people coming through to get their tickets in the last few days, because people are like checking them. We know that money's tight today, and people are sort of looking at the weather. They're looking, have they got the money to go? And we're seeing big walk-ups to the shows, which is really quite interesting to see, because it sort of makes you realize, it's wonderful that people they can afford to come to the shows at the moment. There was a guy that I met who was doing security in one of the gigs we just done in Austin, and he was saying he's not switching on his air conditioning in his car because he needs to save money, and that brought it home to me, that it's so great to see so many people coming out.
Yeah, it's got to be gratifying. You go, all the way back, just multi-decades, and you mentioned having people sing those songs, word to word of all your lyrics back to you, and know that you're still able to do this and enjoy it to the level in which you do has to be incredibly gratifying.
Yeah, it is. It's I feel very pleased. We look after me and my wife. We look after our health and eat well, try and get good rest so that we can do these tours and give like full energy and really get people excited. And that's what I love doing. So I'm very grateful to be able to do it still. It's great.
Wang Chung, modern English, and the English beat a part of this. It occurred to me, how long have you and Dave Wakeling been acquaintances? How far back do we go?
Yeah. Actually, we've toured together quite a few times in the past, so we've got to know each other through that. And same with Modern English, we've toured with them, but I never had the sort of pleasure of having Wang Chung on the bill with us. And although I know Jack Hughes for a long time, we go back decades. So it's like it's great having all these amazing people on the road, and there's a great atmosphere between the bands, and everyone has got a unique sound, which is very cool. So people get a great night of music, and then Richard Blade gives these interludes where he bigs up the 80s and teaches us about how great that decade was. So it's good.
Richard Blade is one of the iconic DJs out there, and as Howard mentions, he gets up on stage and talks up a lot of stories. Now, you've been an acquaintance of Richard for a number of years. Have you heard all the stories, or does he have any that you have yet to hear?
Oh, man, he has every story going because he knows all the bands and he knows all the artists, like personally. We go out to dinner, and also he's traveling on the bus with us, and we get to hear more stories from Richard. But Richard, I often say I might not be up here doing this if it wasn't for Richard, because he played my records on the West Coast, K-Rock, right in the beginning, and really supported so many of us artists. So, he's a legend.
And people forget back in the 80s, it was really difficult at the early stages to get your music and that style of music played. Yeah. But once you did, you saw the impact of the audience once you did. But Richard Blade, there are a couple of stations, certainly the one on Long Island, New York, was another that was impactful too. But, it really took airplay on the radio to get new wave music as impactful as it became.
Yeah, that's right. And so, as you mentioned, WLIR, on the East Coast, and then K-Rock in the West, they really championed our music, and without that, it would never have been heard, So, very grateful to Richard and also LIR on the Long Island side. So, it's we stand on the shoulders of great people like Richard.
Yeah, I can't wait until tomorrow night. Howard Jones joins us, kind enough to join us here on the Ride with JMV on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Before I let you go, I have to ask you how invested you were with the World Cup and the play of England.
I watched so many games, and we would. It was touch and go whether we were going to get through at any time. But then, in that, semi-final, like, why did our manager suddenly go all defensive against Argentina? What was he thinking? It just all collapsed after that. We had a back five that hadn't played together in that configuration, and this is Argentina. They are so determined, they win at any cost. And it was just a strategic mistake that Tuchel really, everyone was groaning. What are you doing? And so that's the only thing I say. But, I think then, Argentina deserved to win because they just fought like tooth and nail to get to that final. And But I tell you what, my favourite match was the 3rd and 4th place between England and France. To me, that was the best match of the whole tournament. Just really enjoyed that.
All the scoring, all the scoring. People that love offense and scoring, you got to love that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, being an Englishman, we were looking at how well America ran that tournament. I mean, all the stadiums looked amazing, and they were all full. And I have to, hats off to America for giving us an amazing World Cup. It was the best World Cup I've seen. So, I hope that, people realize that it was a really great achievement.
So you mentioned that as a fan of England right here. Was that result in 3rd place, was that good enough, or was there still a high level of disappointment for that result in England?
Yeah, no, there was great disappointment as to the manner that we went out. We going defensive, so early on in the second half was just a really strategic mistake. And even if you didn't know very much about football, people were saying, "Why is he doing that?" And we should have kept being very, 1 goal, 2 goals isn't enough against Argentina. You've got to keep hammering it. And so I think there's a great disappointment in the UK that we should have been in that final. We would have lost, I think, to Spain. I think Spain deservedly won, and they were an amazing team. But we still, it would have been nice in the manner that we got through that semi-final. We should have fought the whole way and been offensive the whole time.
Yeah, the pride of Southampton, England right here is Howard Jones. Hey, I don't know if we've ever gone this in-depth in sports in our conversations in the past, but I dig it. I like it a lot.
No, great. No, it is. I do. I am a big sports fan, actually. It's football and Formula One are my passions, yeah.
We, you remember back in the day, they used to have an F1 race over at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, yeah, that is missed. I think that's missed because you always want that place to be the place for races, and it is certainly. Have you ever been to the Indy 500 itself?
I haven't been to the actual race. No, I mean I've only got the flavor of it. Going to the museum and going to the. But yeah, I'd love to come sometime.
We got to make that happen for you at some point, don't we? So
great.
All right, hey, get some rest and get set for tomorrow night. And I want to come and see you. So I don't know. I don't get off until 6:00, but I'm going to try to get back there and see you coming up tomorrow night too. And bring that girl. That girl's all getting all grown up now too. So, but she's still a big fan of Howard Jones.
Oh, fantastic. Well, give her my best wishes, won't you?
You got it. Hey, Howard, we're going to send everybody over there. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you for the time as always.
Okay, thanks, JMV. Thank you, man.
Howard Jones on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. As I mentioned, one of the nicest human beings that you will ever meet. True. And it is so cool for me because I was such a tremendous fan and still am, obviously. But growing up, when you're a teenager and you're a fan of basketball or sports or whatever, and, you meet those that you're a tremendous fan of back in your youth, it's even more impactful. That's impactful. He's awesome. Everwise Amphitheater tomorrow night, along with Wang Chung, the English Beat. Dave Wakeling, too, by the way, will be there. The Beat now as it goes, but the English Beat. Just a great catalog. Modern English, that is Howard Jones. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hell, I'll see you all there coming up tomorrow night, hopefully. We'll have a good time, I promise you that. Everwise Amphitheater downtown tomorrow night. All right, Mike Chappell on the other side. Johnathan Taylor's got an extension. $39 million guaranteed right there for Johnathan Taylor, the best player on the Colts. Justified? You like it, dislike it, or you a tweener? That and the introduction, the new AD in West Lafayette, the impact of his introductory press conference today is going to be measured now and then into the future for sure. That and more. Mike Chappell on the other side. Stay right there. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Connecticut Water Systems. It's my friend Joe. Connecticut.com. If you don't have Connecticut water, you don't have the best. I want you to have the best water possible. That's Connecticut.com. They come into your place absolutely free, test your water, and then they put together a system that is specific to your water needs. Nobody else's. This is just you, exclusive to what you need in your water in your home. Connecticut. That's Connecticut.com. Start with that free test and then find out what Connecticut can do for you. I can tell you what they did for me, giving me the best water possible. Again, thanks to Connecticut. Get Joe in your place. Get your water tested absolutely free today. Sign up right now, Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
A wife, no matter how beauteous or affectionate, would severely impair my crime fighting.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Howard Jones, podcast, 1075thefan.com. Tom Dienhart, Golden Black Illustrated. The ill-advised words of the brand new Boilermaker AD from earlier today. Tommy McLelland, everybody. And John Nolan, the voice of the Fever, the Aces and the Fever coming up later on tonight. 6:30 with Tidrow. 7 o'clock is that tip time. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. I have good news. Some dates are coming together with me and Bryn Holverson, the Evan Williams Locks and Luna Azul Shots. That's every Thursday. There is one down in November. at Yogi's in Bloomington on the schedule. Joe's Castleton. I see Parks Place on the schedule. Sleater, Whitlow, shout out to you guys right there. Nally and the gang, Joe's and Fisher's. Craig's at Murphy's Craft House going to bring us to you. Tommy S., coaches downtown. Just a few of the locations on Thursdays coming. It's all for 2026 in the football season. By the way, expanded coverage. Not just NFL pick'ems, but college football pick'ems coming up this season with me and our betting analyst, Brent Halverson. More dates to come. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he's from CBS 4 and Fox 59. He is Mike Chappell. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Couple of things here. Did you get set up for the Seeger tribute?
Yes, we're all good to go.
When does that happen? Is that next week?
A week from Friday, correct.
Okay, you are good to go for that. I want to make sure you are good. I'm glad to see that you guys can go to that. And are you going over to Canton this weekend?
Yeah, I leave tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. All right.
It's always a great time, and if I get real energetic, I'll go to the Gold Jacket dinner tomorrow night, where all the Hall of Famers in town, they're there and they present the Gold Jacket to the guy, which is really cool. But at the very worst, I'll go to the enshrinement ceremonies on noon, and then not to drop names, but then the Ursays have a post ceremony party that night at a country club, and it's cool to go to. And what's cool is you see all the Colts. Bob Sanders is normally there, and the Justin Snows and Edge will probably be there, and Payne. It's really cool just to see the players. Antoine Bethea. It's cool to see the players come back and help enjoy the moment that when one of their fellow teammates gets honored.
Hey, does Edgerrin James have any sort of similar relationship with the girls as he had with the late Jim Irsay?
Good question. I don't know. I think so. Because as much as Edgerrin and Jim were, they were as close as you can get with a player and an owner. I would think so, yeah. I'm sure he'll stay, available if they need him. When I was talking to Vinny over the summer, he wants to stay involved with the Colts. He said, if they need me to do something, show up, give me a call, and I'll be there. He really, really feels close to the Ursays and to the Colts, and he still lives here, and so it's a kind of cool when you see an owner. Carly Ursay Gordon's going to be the one to present Vinny on Saturday, which is pretty cool since really he was much, much closer to Jim than Carly during his time here. But it's really a testament to his connection to the team and to the family.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59, he's on his way to Canton for the induction ceremonies for, among others, Adam Vinatieri coming up this weekend. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So what do you make? You and I have had dialogue regarding, the future. And, I'm always kind of in the category of, I don't want to put any money in the future because you just don't know about the future past this year. However, I will say this. I think that this almost gives you, to me, contractually with Johnathan Taylor, clearly your best player on the team. I think that's the best case scenario for everybody to be happy about. Would you agree?
Yeah, unless you're one of the guys who also is expiring contract, like Quentin and Buck and Grover and Josh Downs be free agent.
Yeah,
I think what it does, Stephen Holder mentioned it, and he's spot on. It makes sense to not give extensions for all that we've talked about in case things don't go right and you're reloading and then you're not giving the new group, this baggage, if that's the word you want to use. But by doing this tells your team that, hey, we're invested in this year, and we're gonna reward a player who has earned it. So I think it's a win-win. Now we'll see if there's more extensions. I doubt it. I thought JT was the one. It's really kind of squirrely. The safest extension in my view was Quentin. just because he's there, and his if nothing else, his performance has gotten better. But the number would have been crazy. It's going to be 25 million bottom per year, and probably more than that. JT is the one who they're going to climb on this guy's back and ride him as long as they can. He's had back-to-back 300 carry seasons. Only Edgerrin's had 3 consecutive 300 yards carry seasons. And so I'm glad they took care. I thought maybe they would try to just do this year somehow, but they showed a lot more investment. What I'm curious to see is what's the obligation in 2028. Might just be this year and next year, and then they can make 2028 go away if they want. But he's going to be here for 8 years, and it'll be the longest tenure by a running back. I think Edge was 7 years. I think Dom Rhodes was 7 years with that little break in between. So, but no, he's your best player. By far. He was headed for like another 1,800 yard season last year, or 1,700 yard, until Daniel Jones went down, and then the whole offense went in the dumper. So this is it. When you talk about guys earning it, and I'm not saying Quentin hasn't earned it or Grover, but Johnathan Taylor is your guy. You're gonna go as far as he takes you, providing Daniel Jones is healthy. And so far that looks like he's really on the way to being back. So kudos to Johnathan Taylor.
There wasn't much of a poker face either. You could kind of tell that he seemed to be satisfied situationally with what was going along, because right. Especially if you compare it to the last time out, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. At least we didn't have Carly in the end zone with the luxury bus. Say, hey, Jonathan, let's go talk. So, yeah, when JT told us what I guess at the start of the camp that while two of the top players, Robinson and Gibbs, were in camp but not practicing, he said, "I've got faith that things are headed in the right direction." And I was told yesterday by someone with the Colts that, we're going to get there. And it made me think that it may be sooner rather than later, and it was. So that, again, it helps to have two sides that want to get it done and aren't that far apart on what it takes to get it done. So, again, the only other option would have been to give him something this year and maybe franchise him next year. And that would not have been an ideal situation for Taylor.
It's Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So where are you as far as the extensions for guys? You and I have, again, we've had this back and forth, but where are you considering the circumstances of, I'm not going to describe this as a lame duck season, but it can quickly become that if things don't go right. Where are you in terms of money and extensions handed out to guys where you may have everybody all new coming up this time next year?
And that's the dilemma, is what do you do and what do you leave? Again, and the thing is, you can't really as an owner operate by, well, if this doesn't go right, I've got a whole new group coming in, so I've got to watch my money. That's why I say it was important to get JT extended, because it shows the locker room that she's invested in this year. And by the way, they have re-signed their own, if you want to call Daniel Jones their own, Jones, Pierce, and JT, and it's like almost $250 million in contracts. So we talked. I just don't know that I would want to invest what's going to be a monster contract in Quentin Nelson. He won't be the highest paid lineman. He'll be the highest paid guard by quite a bit. And Grover, no. Buck, how do you extend Buck when he's got the neck injury? Then he's coming back and he might be fine. But and there is no better example of a horseshoe guy than DeForest Buckner. I mean, he's at the top of the list. But there's a situation there that would give you pause. So I guess I wouldn't do another one. If I would, it would be Quentin, because he is beyond a core player. He's one of those pillar guys. But then still, if things don't go right, how much money do you want to have invested next year when the new GM or whatever comes in and says, yeah, he's a good player, but, I want my money funneled elsewhere. So, and as soon as I say I think they're done, they'll re-sign somebody. I'll tell you, if they're listening and they want to invest money, give Keenan Allen a call and get his butt in Westfield.
The clock is ticking, I think, with the guys that are out there, especially this guy that certainly has a connection to the past.
That's the thing. It's in a season of urgency, which this season is, give your quarterback coming off an Achilles as much weaponry as you can. And right now, the receiver room is simply not deep enough. Keep in mind, we've not seen we've seen Alec Pierce at practice, and he and Reggie look pretty good throwing the football. But even when Pierce comes back, that number 3 spot's wide open, and all the guys that are contending for that have had their moments, but that's never been their role. Being a 3's never been their role. So that's my concern. And we were talking on our podcast today at Fox 59 that either Keenan Allen wants to let training camp go another week before he signs with somebody, or he's going to re-sign with the Chargers, or he's going to re-sign with the Colts, but he wants more money. Money's always a driving force. People can say he went to where he had a chance. Well, money makes you do a lot of things. So if he's asking for too much money, which in free agency right now, you don't get that big contract. And again, that's relative, $5 million, $8 million, I don't know. But I just see how Keenan Allen comes in here, and it's a 1-year stopgap, sort of fills Michael Pittman's role. If he goes back to the Chargers or somewhere else, then what do you got? They worked out Chase Claypool recently. He hasn't played since 2023. So I'm just concerned that they look at that room and they say, well, we got Tyler Warren, who, by the way, is a tight end. And they're going to work him hard this year. I hope they find a way to get a third receiver free agent. And once you get past Keenan Allen, there's not a lot out there.
So Mike Chappell, who joins us right now, obviously Sauce Gardner was the big deal. I got it, going for it as they did last year, and then everything came unraveled with the injury, especially that to Daniel Jones. And we know that they traded away a future couple of first-rounders here. We haven't really talked about the impact that we might see of A.D. Mitchell. Make you wonder, because we're talking about wide receiver right now, and Keenan Allen right now, whereas it seems like people and again, it's early in training camp, and we've been down this path before where we talk about stuff and we never talk about it again after this time, but that is something I'm assuming we're going to keep track of.
Yeah, in hindsight, A.D. Mitchell's the guy you want here when Michael Pittman's gone. But it's hard for me to believe that the Jets said, well, we're not going to make this deal for Sauce, 2 first-round draft picks.
Did they rage trade him? Do you think they traded him kind of out of a little bit of anger and being done, over it?
Lost their patience with it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so, because I can't believe that he was a deal breaker in the trade. I really don't. You get 2 first-round draft picks, you take that and walk away. So, yeah, I mean, right now, A.D. Mitchell, warts and all, would look pretty good. He just had those. I want to sound like he had 4 or 5 plays that you just can't have when you're in that position. And I think the coaching staff, minus Reggie Wayne, just said, if you don't trust your guy, how do you play him? And I think they lost trust in what Mitchell would do, and then they lost patience on giving him another year, and half of last year and another year this year. I know Reggie, if they voted, he wasn't a vote to send him away, but as a position coach, you defer with what they say. But I think Mitchell would look pretty good here right now, but that's hindsight.
Well, are you anticipating regret at any point here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because he would be in the running with the top three guys. And maybe there were just those rough spots for him that rookies have to work through. But again, they were in a spot they just weren't going to have patience with him. And it was one, it was like, well, okay, it's like, we'll give you one more chance. And then you're on double secret probation and you mess up again. So, yeah, is there regret? I probably. But again, you've got to move on. They're not going to send another draft pick to the Jets to get him back. But when you make a move like that, maybe it would have been hard to argue to keep him, considering how he had been moved out of the rotation, and he wasn't going to get much of an opportunity last year, barring an injury. But yeah, in hindsight, it would be nice to have A.D. Mitchell back here.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. I'm curious, Keenan Allen, do you think that ultimately is going to be a target, or are we just talking about stuff that may never come to fruition here?
I just don't know why it's not going to happen unless he doesn't want to come here, or unless he's asking for just too much. And it's not my money, it's Carly's money. And I would hope that $1 million or $2 million wouldn't keep him here. But again, he may be asking for a lot more than that. I don't know. I just know where, she said that, she'll make any move, that Chris wants to make. I just hope we're not sitting here in October, November, and Chris is thinking, well, I wish I'd have done more to help our receivers. Because again, if you want to argue that Pierce and Downs and Tyler Warren give you 3 top guys, okay, but guys get hurt, guys miss time, and then you have guys who have seldom stepped up in strong roles coming through and lifting their game to that level. And again, I'm not saying Keenan Allen will be a long-term player at all, but right now it's this year and it's an urgent year. I mean, we've talked that to death. So if there's a legitimate reason, fine. If it's that you think you're okay at the position, then I have to disagree with it.
All right, Mike, I want to ask you this. Is it weird to you that they have the night practice 8 until 10 later on tonight, when basically everybody is finally back to school? Is that weird? Is that that seems like some half-assed bad scheduling to me.
But they'll have a big crowd. They will. I'm no longer on their list to talk about the schedules and all that. But no, yeah, I don't know.
Would you advise them maybe if you're going to do it Thursday back to school?
I was kind of hoping it would rain so they'd practice inside because it's easier for me. But they'll have a great crowd, and then I'm sure they've got a big post-practice fireworks display and all that stuff. They'll go big guns on that. All I care about is we get Johnathan Taylor after practice so I can get a story done and get home and then get up early in the morning to drive to Canton. So, and again, it's all about us. It's all about what makes my job easier and all that stuff. But I don't know. I don't know why they schedule things when they schedule them, but they'll have a big crowd tonight.
All right. I'm going to call upon your vast memory right here. We had an ill-advised press conference by the new athletic director at Purdue, Tommy McLelland, a little bit earlier today, which begs the question, you've been around here absolutely forever, who had the worst introductory press conference day other than this guy, or worse than the new Boilermaker AD had earlier today?
You mean here in Indy?
Not anywhere in general. You saw, let's go in and around. Yeah, it can be here in Indy, or it can be outside of the market. Any memory you have around here of a bad first step taken, as Tommy McLelland did today.
Nick Sirianni had a really, really bad opening press conference in Philly.
Yeah, he did.
And then when you're a meme, Liam Cohen in Jacksonville when he did the Duval thing,
and they're all on the right track right now. Sirianni is won a Super Bowl, and Cohen is on the. So maybe this is a good sign for Boilermaker fans.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to start my tenure somewhere by making an ass of myself, and I didn't hear the press conference, so I don't know exactly what he did. But
did you not hear this? Did you hear this part of it? Hey, can you play this, Caleb? Caleb will play it for you. This is the point that we're talking about in Tommy McLelland's press conference earlier today when, unfortunately, he said this.
Every recruit and every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Ooh. Where was he at?
That reaction from Chap on the YouTube, John, is hilarious. You need to clip that.
Where was he several months ago in Miami? IU lifted the trophy.
Yeah, that's a bad start right there. Yeah, and people bring up, well, look what Signetti said. Listen, they were a doormat. You could have said basically anything and been okay there. That was not okay, and that's going to take a long time for people to forget.
And again, their football program has fallen on such hard times. Now, again, with the new, portal and NIL and all that, you can turn things around very quickly, as IU has done. But yeah, that's gonna follow him around until there's a championship in West Lafayette.
Yeah, what's interesting is the Purdue football coach Barry Odom said all the right things the week before last, and Matt Painter always says all the right things. And yeah, it's just weird how I guess you don't test drive that on anybody with that particular line. It'd be one thing, I think, Mike, hey, if he said it kind of off the script in jest, then you go, okay, I get that, but that was like scripted, serious material right there. Or at least that's the way that it sounded.
Yeah, I keep hammering the WNBA for having really crappy PR people. And maybe he tapped into their PR people to get his opening brushed up. But yeah, I'd like to have a do-over on that if I'm him.
Yeah, the WNBA and the Fever. It's a good thing they have a good team because most of the time those folks can't not get out of their own way ever.
It's like how can we screw this up? I got an idea. Okay, let's go with that.
Let's do this. Here's a hell of a plan.
That's right.
So hey, you're off to Canton coming up tomorrow, correct?
Driving to Westfield tonight and then Canton tomorrow, about 4.5 hours, and looking forward to it. It's always great to get over there because it's just history, and yeah, it'll be a great couple of days in Canton.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, safe travels to Westfield tonight, and hey, I'm glad you got those tickets to see the Seeger tribute.
I'll let you know how it
too.
goes. I've been there before. Getting in and getting out can be a pain in the ass, but if it's a really good concert, you deal with it.
Well, Steve contacted me, and I said, you know what? This is our guy right here. Let's set him up.
He's taking care of me.
He's a great guy. Mike, enjoy tonight, and the safe travels to Canton, too. Thank you.
You guys be well.
Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. You're right, that reaction when he heard that.
Dude. That. Ooh.
You've got to put that up. That reaction that he had on the YouTube feed was classic. Ooh. One of these days, at least Purdue fans, he brought up a couple examples. And listen, I'm no Nick Sirianni fan right here. But Nick Sirianni did big things. Liam Cohen looks as if he can do big things. 2 referenced by Mike missteps in press conferences that worked out okay. And then if you want to utilize Curt Cignetti, which is just incredibly different when he first did his press conference and then came on with me. I remember this very well. He came on with me. I was at the West Side Pub on a December afternoon. And it was so, oh, by the way, oh, yeah, this guy. And the bravado was there, and they ended up backing it up. So this guy, to let everybody forget, and to shut up the folks like me talking about this today, he's just going to have to do the job, which is essentially all he really needed to reference in the first place. That's true. Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. The podcast there. Podcast of Tom Dienhart, Gold and Black Illustrated. We discussed that a little bit earlier with Tommy D. John Nolan, voice of the Fever, Aces Fever, coming up later on tonight. 7:30 is, I should say 6:30, your pregame coverage with Tidrow. 7 p is the tip time. Our TV guide idea for everything. And if you're looking for a TV guide reference tonight, it is Amazon Prime on TV for the Aces and the Fever. And a friend of this show, and as you witnessed a little bit earlier, an awesome dude. Tomorrow night, Everwise Amphitheater, the English Beat, Wang Chung, Modern English, and our friend and a lover of everything Indianapolis, including the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as you heard earlier, Howard Jones. Awesome dude. Podcast 1075thefan.com. A 4-pack of passes to get into the Indiana State Fair, which starts coming up tomorrow. We got those passes, but first things first, a weather update right now. Here's Fox 59.
A few showers possible across central Indiana overnight. It'll be humid with overnight lows near 69 degrees. More scattered showers in the forecast for our Friday as temperatures rise to a high near 84. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Hey, John for LD Smith Plumbing and Trades. Happy anniversary to my good friend Lance. The best in the business, the best for absolutely everything that benefits your plumbing needs. From, well, my garbage disposal and a new sink, which is outstanding, to just something that is a major plumbing issue, always in demand because the best in plumbing is Lance and his local team. LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. And again, happy anniversary to Lance. 317-927-7186. I'm telling you, you do not have to mess around. You do not have to fool around with any other choices. This is the one and only right here. That's LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. Whatever your plumbing needs, 317-927-7186 online. That's ldsmithplumbing.com.
The Ride with JMV.
You guys can stick that too. Seriously. You guys want to stick that? Stick that one where the sun don't shine.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Yeah, especially and I like Scott Miller on here a great deal, but where's this Homer bullcrap coming from? Hey, it's not my fault the new AD made an ass of himself today. It's not mine. It's not my bad. Homer. I think most Boilermaker fans would agree with it right now. There's still time to make up for it. But it was incredibly ill-advised. It doesn't mean because you have this opinion that you're a homer. Wear dudes out for that. What's that?
I think having the opinion that you have no problem with the comments is almost more of a homer than whatever you're doing.
Just a jackass in general, Scott. How about if I say, hey, Scott, you're just a jackass.
You could say that, not me. But like, do you get what I'm saying, though? Like, if we're going to use the definition of homer, I feel like defending whatever that was today is.
Let me say that Mike Chappell at least provided a little bit of hope because people have stepped in it before and then things turned out okay. Hopefully that's the case. So I got a lot of Boilermaker fans shaking their fist. I got to fire this guy. I can't believe they did this. Stomping around here as Boilermaker fans, all pissy about stuff. Hey, others have stepped in it in an introductory press conference before, and this turned out okay. We shall see. This era of college athletics is interesting. So, Indiana defensive end Kellen Wyatt is returning, this within the last hour, to the IU football program for the 2026 season. Now, Wyatt is a part of the group of college athletes who received an additional fifth year of eligibility following recent court rulings. Now, if you don't know too much about Kellen Wyatt, 6'2", 257, first 7 games at defensive end. I believe he put up some numbers. I want to say he was injured against Michigan State. I believe that was the game he was injured. Undrafted in the spring, did not sign as an NFL free agent. Played prior to at Maryland. And obviously going back to the day before yesterday when we found out that Stephen Daly was going to be back. He was injured after the Big Ten title game here in Indy back in December against Ohio State. But both of those defensive players are back, and there was certainly some conversation about those that might make a return, and he was one as a part of that conversation. So that is the news that we were talking about a little bit earlier. Mike Chappell joined us, too. He's on his way to Canton coming up tomorrow. Adam Vinatieri going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You do have the Colts in an 8 to 10 practice, a night gathering later on tonight up at Drop Light in Grand Park in Westfield. So hopefully all of you are going to go up for that. JMV, you were referencing Tally at Kroger locations a little bit earlier. Tally is a less cool version of the robot that Rocky gave to Paulie at the beginning of Rocky 4. I do remember that. JMV, Screech's robot was named Kevin. Thank you very much. JMV, why do IU fans act like IU is such a great sports school? They aren't a good sports program. They were just better than Purdue. IU has 2 natties in the last 22 years. Wow. What? Know how to begin with that. Were you being serious there? Did I just read something that was serious, or was that put in jest? I don't get it. I need somebody to translate. JMV is out here talking about real issues. Grocery stores are the bane of my existence. I dig on grocery stores. I don't dig on the prices. Between that and the gas price, I don't dig on that. But I'm lucky for me, like the things I eat now, a part of my diet, are rather expensive. But it's better. I can't imagine. I used to eat Cheez-Its all the time. What are a box of Cheez-Its right now? Like $5?
Dude, yes.
I'm paying $5 for stinking Cheez-Its.
I will buy the off-brand every single time.
What is the off-brand of Cheez-Its? It used to be cheese. Well, cheese nips used to be made by.
I used to eat a lot of cheese nips.
I'd be down with anything that had nips written on it. Cheese nips. Made by, was that Nabisco or Sunshine that manufactured cheese nips? Cheese nips.
Nabisco. You got it. This is bringing me back right here.
Cheese nips.
You ever eat whales?
Is that the off of goldfish?
Pretty much.
Sure. JMV, maybe a big boiler backer said, I'll give you $10 million if you say this. Hey, I'll give you $10 million if you say this. Moral of the story. The tail of the tape is going to be by the results. And a lot of what we're making fun of right now will absolutely be washed away if the results are there. But that is simply put something you cannot say. You cannot do. That is something to where you want to say, hey, I've got this speech and I'm going to go ahead and mention this, and somebody can just go, hey, don't do it. And again, all you got to do is go to the football head coach. And the football head coach, Barry Odom, handled that situation. And that was asked. This was just said in a speech. It's scripted. But Barry Odom could not have handled that better. And I guess therein lies the difference between a coach that's been down that path before and some guy at Rice is probably the first time he's ever seen more than one camera in front of him, I would guess. Maybe. Hopefully is that. I'm trying to find 1,000 different ways to help some of you Boilermaker fans out, but today just was not good. There's zero way. Nick writes this, I know because I just paid a lousy $16.99 for my college football preview. They were reasonably priced. They'd probably sell a hell of a lot more. Speaking of which, I don't think he makes the hard copy any longer with Phil Steele. Phil Steele has always been like the almanac of college football for everybody that's preparing for the season. Really, any fan of teams or whatever. Phil's going to join us on the show tomorrow. JMV, there is a TV guide online. I don't know if it works, but I just bought it, and it looks good for streaming. Don't know about live sports. I'm just thinking something that TV guide-wise is for everything. Absolutely everything. I did see this earlier today, and I'm going to reference this before we hit a break. Got a little anything goes, about 8 minutes coming up after the top of the hour, and State Fair passes, a family 4-pack to give away. One of my greatest memories, and I always talk about those sports memories that we have are, you know exactly where you were when it took place. In 1983 in Albuquerque, the national championship game between Houston and North Carolina State. I was 13 years old. I absolutely remember where I was during the entirety of that game, at that moment. It's been documented in a 30 for 30. But one of the members of that team passed away in the past 24 hours, Cozell McQueen. Cozell McQueen was Jim Valvano's big man. Cozell McQueen, if you want to look for somebody, oh, yeah, that guy, he was holding the Wolfpack sign while standing. I always thought, man, I hope he doesn't fall off. Remember, he was standing on the rim and sitting on the back of the backboard at the pit in Albuquerque after NC State won that national championship on the dunk by the late Lorenzo Charles to beat Houston and that stacked Cougars team. Phi Slamma Jamma. Cozell McQueen was a significant part of that. And Cozell McQueen passed away, again, within the past 24 hours. I think he got to Raleigh at NC State back in 1981, 81 to 85, but obviously 83 was a tremendous deal. And for basketball fans, college basketball fans out there, that year, that season, and those moments will live forever. And Cozell McQueen was a part of that. So a sky point to the late Cozell McQueen, as we learned a little bit earlier today. Family 4-pack to the Indiana State Fair, which is officially underway tomorrow. Going to get you that on the other side. And some anything goes for about 8 minutes, and then we're going to get you to the Colts update. They have a night practice, 8 until 10. Drop light up at Grand Park in Westfield coming up later on tonight, 8 until 10. But the Fever and the Aces tonight, that is a 6:30 pregame with Tidrow, 7P. John Nolan's got the call. We're going to help get you there. Quick break. We're back with you next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Oh, it's my second false start of the day. I think I false started early, even before the show, like 3 minutes to go. I'm turning on the mic and yapping. What am I doing here? My bad. The false start courtesy of my excitement and anticipation for Big Red Liquors, power in the JMV takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. Of course, I want to get started telling you all about the greatness of Big Red Liquors because they're supporting us in our endeavors to party like we've never partied before. To make sure that your party, your gathering, your get-together, or your time just kind of hanging out is the absolute best and helping you save money in the process. So if you're looking for the best deals on beer, whether it's Bud Light or Miller Lite or Coors Light, or maybe it's craft beers that you love, something from Sun King, for example, maybe Rheingeist over in Cincinnati if you're looking for that, or the best in spirits. Or how about whiskeys or bourbons, the Heaven Hill brands, or hard seltzers from High Noon. That and more can support whatever you're doing, especially if it's party time this weekend with Big Red Liquors. So again, sorry about the excitement. That's just how great Big Red Liquors would be. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. One near you. The red hot deals and more. Even more of those deals can be found online right now, bigredliquors.com. All right, Sundown Gardens, Miss M's Home and Garden, their annual Grab a Duck, Save a Buck sale. You come into the retail garden shop at either location, save 10 to 50% off of all retail purchases. Labor not included in the sale. Now, here's what you do. Shop for all your garden center needs, and then at the checkout, pick a rubber duck from the pool and win 10 to 50% off of your purchase. That's Grab a Duck, Save a Buck at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden, saving 10 to 50% in this deal. That's Miss M's Home and Garden, State Road 135, just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road. That's sundown.gardens.com. Grab a duck, save a buck at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Tell them JMV sent you. Connecticut.com, Connecticut Water Systems for your home. If you don't have Connecticut water, my guy Joe will get in there, test your water. They'll put together an exclusive, a specific system for your home water needs. Then, and only then, will you have the best, the most drinkable, bathable, and washing your clothesable water in your home, thanks to Joe and Connecticut. And all you have to do to get started is log on, sign up, get that free in-home test today, and you're off and running. That's Connecticut.com. Tell them I sent you.
The Ride with JMV.
It's a beautiful day for baseball at Wrigley Field in Chicago as the Chicago Cubs face the troublesome Cincinnati Reds.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There goes PCA. Throw down to third. And it gets away. Here it comes. PCA is in. And the Cubs win it.
Cubs TV, 3-2 and 11, a walk-off error for the Cubs. They beat the Blue Jays, which makes me want to barf. You Cubs, you're not a Cubs guy, you're a Tigers guy, aren't you?
Tigers guy. But, man, the Cubs, they were down 2-0 in this, John.
Let me tell you, they're going through after a sweep of the Dodgers and then a walk-off error as a win. And they were down 2-0. To the Blue Jays at Wrigley in this game. So they win in 11. This is the type of season that can wave the magic wand of results. That's the way that it appears. It hurts me to say because I'm not a fan. In fact, I think they suck. Not all the way like the Cardinals, but they suck a little bit of the way. And really, it's not even the guy, like the guys I can watch and I don't mind. I think it's their fans that kind of suck. Like the Corey Kinneys of the world. So yeah, they don't all the way, like the Cardinals all the way suck. Like Alex Golden's always going to have, like every time I see him prop up the Cardinals, he's always going to wear that backpack of suck because he's a fan of the Cardinals. But that's going all the way. The Cubs are kind of the way. And, of course, this is coming from a Schleprock Reds fan. And basically what we are as Reds fans, we're just big losers. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 years, $67.5 million. Somebody's going to tell you, all the Green Dotters out there are going to say, oh, yeah, this is all following the dominoes that started with Bijan Robinson. Johnathan Taylor got his today, and Gibbs gets his today, too. It all makes sense.
Look at how far we've come with running back contracts, John. Remember when we were sitting here 3 years ago?
3 years ago, they were
my
disposable.
gosh.
Yeah, they were like diapers. Seriously, like diapers.
What
I'm going to put on a
happened?
diaper, and then they're going in the diaper, and then you're just going to go out and get some more.
What happened, though? Like, did they just get so low that they became valuable? Like, what is the explanation behind this?
These teams that put the most value in, are they the best? Now, you can argue. I mean, look what Seattle let their dude go.
Yeah. But then I would also say Kansas City, who I think is a smart organization, signed him. So, like, what is the – I don't know what the meaning behind all of it is, you know?
Yeah. No, I do. I understand it. It is like a rejuvenation of the position. By the way, the losing Reds, they won today 6-5 over the Athletics. Remember, there was a point in time with the Athletics, I think, were 500. They were even on the season. 45-70 right now. Ellie De La Cruz, fourth career leadoff homer. I think 4-0 today. And a sweep over the Athletics. Hey, look, where are the Reds in the wild card? Famous last words right here. Can you believe? I'll go outside in the parking lot and kick the crap out of myself because I brought this up after the show. But indulge me for a moment. Where are they right now in the wild card? Is it like the double wild card? This is like for the teams that really do, they're the mediocre teams that mostly suck, but just not suck enough.
There's 3 wild card spots, and then the Cardinals are 4 games out. The Marlins and the Padres are both ahead of them. They're also out. But this is the wild card spots in the National League. Cubs, Diamondbacks, Phillies. And then San Diego's 2 back, Miami's 3 back, St. Louis is 4 back.
Where are the Reds? Are they even mentioned?
4.5.
4.5. The march is on. See, and what this is going to do is going to...
Just enough.
Colts fans know this to be true. You're going to create just enough to continue down the path. Nick the Nerd's not too far away from Chris Ballard Company right here. Just going to do enough to, hey, now we're turning the corner. Now things are making sense. All right, we got a little extra time, which is anything goes coming up on the other side. Hey, let's give away a family 4-pack right now to the State Fair. Number 15 has been consistent this week at 317-239-1070. Number 15, a family 4-pack to the Indiana State Fair, which is underway tomorrow. Jake Query is going to be at the Dairy Bar tomorrow for you with Query and Company starting at 10 a.m. The Indiana State Fair. Family 4-pack, number 15 on the text line at 239-1070. All you yappers who want to chime in, you and me, 8 minutes of anything goes time is up next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I guess the only thing I can say is I'll promise to keep rocking and rolling, making better films.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Caleb's over there. I'm John. Let's get this bad boy started. Every time I hear this song, I just want to use the term, by God. Let's get this started, by God. Well, the old guys where I grew up in Greene County. By God. Crimson Cast has this. I'm going to give Crimson Cast credit regarding Kellen Wyatt. It's insane that IU took Daly, that's Stephen Daly, 829th overall in the portal, 84th among edge rushers, and Wyatt 888th overall in the portal, 91st among edge rushers. And Caleb, they generated 27 TFLs, 8 sacks, and 20 combined games. And they're both back, thanks to a court ruling and a 5th year granted. Shout out to the Crimson Cast with that stat. I give credit where credit is due, Buggin. See, now I can't stop using it. Now I'm overdoing it.
By God?
Yeah, that's, I never know that if people get offended by that. That's always a big hillbilly term where I'm from. All the older generational folks would say that. Would say that all the time. Hey, but speaking of which, like my man Scott, I think my man Scott and I are now on the same page. We're good. Scott Miller.
Good.
It's weird. I know he's of the older generation. They're like two old dudes that wear me absolutely out. Have you seen those guys on Facebook that wear me out? Yeah.
Who are these people?
One is named Hal Reisman. True story.
Howell Reisman.
From Westfield. Wears me out. Then he makes fun of my daughter all the time, which is not cool. I don't care if he makes fun of me, but he does. He wears me out. I don't go back at him on the air, and really I don't go back. I just I put him together, and sometimes I'll send him out because he appears to be nuts. There's the who's the other guy? Oh, Ben Tenen, who's probably listening right now. He sends me a Facebook, and it never is associated with what I'm talking about right now. He always tags it to a video on Facebook, which has been few and far between, as we've noted here. But a video on Facebook, and my man, he just wears me out too. And I think these guys are both like 70-plus years of age. Is that my demographic? These guys are, I don't know. They are just beating me down. Hal and Ben.
Yeah. Haters. You got haters.
They're haters. 70-year-old plus haters. Take it easy, old guys. But Ben's always making fun of the way that I lost weight. Nah, you're not always making fun of my athleticism or lack thereof or whatever. It's weird.
Should you get out on the court with you?
Yeah, I doubt that.
No, wait till Sunday, though. Wait till Sunday when you're back, because you're going to take a couple days.
He probably would struggle finding his Chuck Taylors at this point. Hey, is this Fulton during Anything Goes at 239-1070? Fulton, is this you?
John, how are you, man?
Are you going to the state fair, buddy?
I'm trying to, but we haven't picked a day yet.
You haven't? Why not? Pick it.
Yet.
Make a decision, buddy. Make a decision. What are you doing?
I'm trying to. But at the moment, I've been too busy lately.
I know. You're always doing something. Always.
Yep. So, are you going to be doing the JMV takeover there? Have you decided?
I do not think I'm doing the JMV takeover there this year. That'll be at Mystic Waters Campground in what is known as the Labor Day weekend bender coming up on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
Okay, we'll probably swing on by.
Yeah. So
anyway,
yes.
I don't know if you heard the breaking news, John.
I didn't hear the breaking news, Fulton. What is it? Now, hold on. Do we have a breaking news sounder right here? Hey, Fulton, we got a breaking news sounder just for you. Okay, pal?
All right, I'm ready.
Breaking news, courtesy of our guy, Fulton. Fulton, go ahead.
All right, so one of us confirmed that Ace Ventura and Sonic the Hedgehog Star Jim Carrey will front a live-action movie adaptation of the Jetsons live-action movie.
Oh, so is he going to be George Jetson?
He might be.
Or his boy Elroy, daughter Judy, Jane, his wife might sing Jetsons for you, buddy?
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Thanks, Fulton, for the update. Jim Carrey and the Jetsons. You know, I cannot stand, nor have I ever seen it in its entirety. I turned off Ace Ventura. I think it's awful.
Really?
I hate it.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Hate it.
Loved it as a kid.
Hate it. I love In Living Color with Jim Carrey. There are not a lot of Jim Carrey films that I dig. I love In Living Color, though. I can get down with that. Great job out of you today, Caleb. Thank you.
Always fun.
Hey, you guys, if you missed anything today, the podcasts are available for you. Tom Dienhart, Golden Black Illustrated, Mike Chappell, CBS 4, Fox 59, John Nolan, Voice of the Fever, Howard Jones, musician tomorrow night, Everwise Amphitheater, 1075thefan.com. Colts update. Ted Rose got you bottom of the hour. The M-Bound, the Aces, and the Fever from downtown Indy with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Enjoy.